If you're in your 40s and you feel behind on investing, you are not alone. You've been building a career, raising kids, living your life, and now you're looking around thinking, wait, is it too late for me to build wealth? I get it. That feeling of panic when you realize you don't really have a plan and you're getting older and you're not 25 anymore. But the truth is, you're not too late, but you don't have any more time to waste. The good news is you don't need 30 years to catch up. Fidelity actually found that people who started investing in their 40s still retire successfully as long as they follow a clear strategy. In fact, the average age for first-time investors is actually 45 in the United States. So you are not behind. You are right on time, as long as you start now. So in this video, I'm going to walk you through exactly what I would do to start investing if I were starting from scratch at 40. No shame, just a real legit plan that you can put to work immediately. Let's go. The first step, brutal honesty. I know looking at your finances can be uncomfortable, but avoiding them is worse. So here's what I want you to do. Take out a piece of paper and list your liquid and your cash. Write down the savings you have, what you have in your retirement accounts, brokerage accounts, any equity you have in your home. Then get another piece of paper and write down everything that you owe. I'm talking credit cards, student loans, car loans, and anything else you owe money on. Now subtract your debts from your assets. That is your net worth. If it's negative, don't panic. This is your starting point, remember. And the clarity you have in this moment will give you control and teach you what you need to do to move forward. And control is what builds wealth. Step 2 is I want you to cut the leaks. Because now that you know where you stand financially, we've got to find the money that's slipping through the cracks. Because for most people, they're spending money that they don't even realize they're spending. So go ahead and pull up your last 3 months of spending. Your credit cards, your checking account, whatever you swipe to make purchases, pull up those accounts. I want you to sort everything into 3 categories because we're gonna look at where your money is actually going. Category 1, essentials. What are your essentials? We're looking for things like rent, utilities, cell phone bills, groceries, and gas. These costs go into your essentials column. 2 is the non-essentials. What's a non-essential? Going out to eat, Target runs, random buys on Amazon, and the $7 Starbucks drink. Category number 3, the leaks. These are the subscriptions that you forgot about, but you're still paying. And those random expenses that you don't know what they were for. Now at first, I want you to just pick 2 things that you can eliminate. Ideally, eliminate all the things you know you could easily go without. The more the merrier. Just by being more intentional with how you're spending your money is going to increase your wealth. And if you do just a few things, the things that don't make the biggest difference in your life, you're going to see a positive change without drastically changing your lifestyle and saying, I can't. It's like going on an extreme diet. It lasts for like 3 days and then you give up. Don't do the extreme diet right now with this exercise. Let's just keep it easy. Step 3, now that you know where your extra money is going and you can cut out some things to save a little bit more, which is a conscious spending plan. Now I'm gonna say something that might shock you. I don't use a traditional budget, and I never have. I don't sit there writing down how much I spent on green onions at the grocery store or tracking every margarita that I had at the Mexican restaurant the other night. I just don't do that. I'm busy. I have 3 kids. I homeschool. I run multiple businesses. I'm not keeping a budget log, and I don't expect you to either. But what I do use is something called a conscious spending plan. It's not a budget in a traditional sense, but it's a structure. Think of it like a flexible framework that tells your money what to do before it just disappears on random stuff that you don't even really care about. It's a very simple framework. First, 50 to 60% of your income goes towards your fixed costs. These are the things that you have to pay every single month. Almost just like investing in rental property, right? You have fixed costs, things you have to pay no matter what. These are things like your rent, your mortgage, utilities, grocery bills, home insurance, car insurance. These are all the things that keep your life moving forward. Next, you send 15 to 20% of your income straight into investing. For me, this is non-negotiable because this is your future salary. Even if it starts small and you can't do 15 to 20%, Just increase it little bits by little bits over time. Then you've got 5 to 10% left, and this is your savings. Your emergency fund, money you use for vacations, maybe a future home down payment, whatever your next savings goal is that you're working toward. You definitely want some cash sitting aside. And finally, and this is my favorite part, 20 to 30% for guilt-free spending. Yep, this is your fun money. Coffee runs, concert tickets, date nights. And because this money is already built into the plan, you don't have to feel bad spending it. This is where you can actually use your income, all the hard work that you've done throughout your life, to actually enjoy some fruits of your labor. I have had the absolute biggest struggle with this category right here because I just want to save everything. I have been a hoarder saver for my whole life. Just lately, and it has been intentional, have I been working on actually spending the money towards fun things a little bit at a time to enjoy my life. Let me give you an example of my plan, because sometimes putting numbers to it will actually help bring the picture to full light. Let's say you bring home $6,000 a month, and I wrote this down here. So around $3,300 will go towards your regular bills and fixed expenses. $600 to $900 can go right into investing, whatever it is that you invest in, brokerage accounts, 401k. We invest in rental properties. $300 to $600 goes into savings because you do need to have some cash on hand. I would never advise going down to the penny and not having any money for an emergency fund. And then around $1,200 to $1,500 is for your guilt-free spending. Now, this is a little more, like I said, than I actually do, but I'm working on actually doing more YOLO, living your life, enjoying some things instead of saving all of it for investing. So hopefully that is a spending plan that you can actually live with. Now, if you can save more than that or invest more than that, absolutely do it. With this strategy, the 50-30-20 strategy, you're still paying your bills. You're still saving for the future. You're still enjoying your life. And most importantly, you're building wealth on purpose. And that's just what I mean by conscious spending, knowing where your money is going and having a plan for it. You don't have to nickel and dime everything, and you don't have to itemize every little thing like you would have to do in a checkbook in the 1950s. If the percentages that I said feel out of reach, just make up your own percentages, but have a dedicated section going towards investing, saving, and paying your bills. The rest can go towards a guilt-free spending plan. Maybe you invest 5% this month. Maybe in 2 months from now, it's 6%. The point is progress, not perfection. The great thing about this plan is that it works whether you make $50,000 a year or $250,000 a year. The structure stays the same, just the numbers change. All right, step 4 is any cash you have, I want you to park it in a high-yield savings account ASAP. While you're doing this exercise, working up a plan, trying to figure out what things you can cut, and getting rid of stupid subscriptions, you need to open up a high-yield savings account online and start parking your money there. Mine right now is paying me 4.5%, so I am making some actual money while it's sitting there. It really is a no-brainer. Step 5 is to start building wealth with long-term rentals. Now, this is where we turn the corner, because buying long-term rentals is really where we started seeing some real money come in. This was the really big wealth builder for us. I didn't do anything flashy though. I didn't flip houses. I didn't do Airbnbs. I just bought one long-term rental property a year. We started with a single income, not even 6 figures. And we had 3 little kids running around. Well, actually 2 when we started. But every time that we bought a house, we saved the cash flow, and that helped us save up for the next house. After 6 years, those houses provided us a full-time salary. We're on 9 years of investing now and bringing in $167,000 in annual income. I will never run out of money as long as I have long-term rentals. Why? Because I'll have increasing net worth. As inflation goes up, so will the value of my properties. And I will always have income because they will always be rented out, bringing in rental income. Even in retirement, I'll never have to sell assets or start living on dividends. I will always have income, even in retirement, with long-term rental properties. And that is one of my favorite reasons of why we chose to put our hard-earned money into the real estate investment vehicle. And the best part of it is I'm making income without really working hourly for it. I manage my properties in most months. I don't talk to any tenants at all. It's phenomenal. Now, here's the best part. If you're a high income earner or you're a dual income household, you're going to be able to double, triple, quadruple my time frame. Remember, we were just a single income family, not even making six figures, and we did this in 6 years. You could do it in half the time. I've seen it. Long-term rental properties do work, but not all long-term rentals are created equal. You have to do it the right way if you don't want to have to own so many of them. You'll need to buy in the right neighborhoods with good quality tenants and have a long-term mindset. That's what I teach too, and it works. If you want to learn more, I highly encourage you to watch this video. I'm going to put the link to it down below. All right, step 6 is don't sleep on retirement accounts. While you're building your rental portfolio, which hopefully you're going to do, I don't want you contributing to your retirement accounts. If your job offers a 401k match, do it because that's free money. And if you qualify, open a Roth or traditional IRA. Think of your rentals as income and your retirement accounts as long-term growth. You don't have to choose between the two. You can do both. Now, number 7 is automate this ish. Take yourself out of the equation. Set up those automatic transfers into your high yield savings account. Set up automatic transfers into your investment accounts. And set up an automatic transfer to start saving for your next rental property. When you don't see your money, you don't spend it. And if you're investing in the stock market, pick a target date fund. Pick the year you plan to retire, set it to auto invest, and move on with your life. No overthinking required. Now, step 8 is earn more. Now we're gonna get to the part that nobody really likes to talk about, but it's super important. And it's to actually increase your income. Yes, cutting expenses helps, but you can only cut expenses so much. It is much easier to make more money than cut things out. And the cool part about it is there is no limit to how much you can earn. I started an Etsy shop out of thin air, never having done it before, and saved up $20,000 for our first rental property. I did this as a stay-at-home mom. I had 2 tiny babies, and I worked on my little projects and things that I sold at nights when my husband got home from work and could watch the kids during their nap times. I did not get up early and do any work, and I also did work on the weekends when he was home to help watch the kids. Then I built a real estate coaching business. I didn't climb any corporate ladders. I didn't ask permission, and I got started 10 years out of the workforce. You can start a business too, even if you already have a day job. My sister Haley showed me how to start and launch an online business, and she teaches other people how to do it too. Many of them have full-time jobs. If you want her info, drop a comment below and I'll give it to you. The truth is, we live in a time where anyone can create income on the side, thanks to the internet. You don't need 100 hours in a week. You just need to have a clear idea, a reason to start, and some direction. And like I said, it's easier to create more income because you can only save so much. All right, step 9 is build to $100,000. Once you've hit your first $100,000 in net worth, whether it's through savings, retirement, or real estate, everything starts to change. That's when the compounding starts kicking in and your money starts making more money for you. So don't worry about making millions just yet. Focus on getting that first 100K. That's the tipping point. If you want to invest in real estate, I recommend even just starting with $50,000. If you want help with that first rental, I offer personal coaching through that first experience. You can get more info on that down below if you'd like. Now, number 10 is start now. Look, you don't need to be perfect. You don't need to have it all figured out. You just need to start. Pick a number, pick a habit, pick one thing to cut, one account to open, one conversation to have, and then keep going. 40 is not too late. It's actually the perfect time because now you know what matters. If this video helped you, please do all the things. Smash that subscribe button, smash the like button, type me a comment down in the comments below. It takes a lot of work and time to make each one of these videos, and I would super humbly appreciate you liking, subscribing, sharing, and leaving a comment below so we can push this video out to more people. And if you want to learn how I use long-term rentals to build real wealth step by step, I have a free masterclass training down in the comment section below. And I challenge you today, if you're ready, drop a comment saying, I'm ready. And until next time, keep building your wealth brick by brick.